Whether you want more money, more respect, or more control over your life, these 6 psychological tactics give you an unfair advantage, because the people who win are not always the most dedicated, and not even the smartest. They are the ones who understand how manipulation really works. In the next 5 minutes, you are going to understand how to influence people in a way that makes you more respected, more persuasive, and impossible to ignore. You have just entered the Dark Psychology Tavern, where minds are quietly studied, where masks slowly fall, and dangerous knowledge is served. If you want to understand how influence really works, subscribe now, because what you are about to learn will change how you see people forever. The first tactic is framing control. Every conversation has a frame, and whoever controls the frame controls the outcome. Most people react. They defend. They explain. But people who understand influence do something different. They redefine the situation. Instead of arguing, they reposition. Instead of reacting, they guide perception. This is not a problem. It is an opportunity. This is not complicated. It just needs structure. Same reality, different meaning. And once the frame changes, people start thinking inside it without even noticing. The second tactic is emotional anchoring. People do not decide based on logic. They decide based on how they feel. Then they use logic to justify it. So before asking for anything, you create the right emotional state. Respect, trust, curiosity. I like how you handled that situation. I trust your judgment on this. Now the request feels natural, because people are not responding to your words. They are responding to the feeling attached to them. The third tactic is strategic silence. Most people talk too much. They try to fill every gap. But silence creates pressure. And when pressure appears, people reveal more than they planned. Ask a question. Then stop talking. Let the other person think. Let them expand. The more they talk, the more you understand, and the more control you have over the interaction. The fourth tactic is controlled validation. If you give validation all the time, it loses value. But when it is selective, it becomes powerful. Instead of constant approval, you give it when it is earned. That was actually well thought out, short, precise, real. Now your words carry weight, and people naturally value what is not easily given. The fifth tactic is assumed authority. People follow certainty, even when that certainty is not based on anything real. Most people ask, they hesitate, they soften everything they say. But influence works differently. Let's do this. Here is what we are going to focus on. No pressure, no aggression, just direction. And in a world full of hesitation, direction stands out. The sixth tactic is identity targeting. This is the most powerful one, because people do not just act. They act to stay consistent with who they believe they are. So instead of telling someone what to do, you remind them who they are. You are someone who finishes what you start. You are not the kind of person who gives up. Now the behavior becomes internal, and internal motivation is always stronger than external pressure. Now here is the reality. These tactics are being used on you every single day. In conversations, in relationships, in social media. The difference is, most people never notice, but once you see these patterns, you stop reacting automatically. You start choosing your responses. You start guiding interactions. Not by forcing people, but by understanding how they think. The tavern is closing for tonight, but the mind games never stop. If you want to go deeper into psychological influence, manipulation tactics, and real-world power dynamics, watch the next video, because the next layer is where most people lose control without even realizing it.